What's going on, guys? Apathetic here with all your tips and recommendations, and I was wondering what weapons I should be keeping my eyes out for the next season, and I figured some of you out there were probably wondering the same thing. So I'm going to cover 5 weapons you should be trying out next season to be ready to destroy in Trials of Osiris and the Crucible. Let's get into it. The first weapon we are keeping our eyes out for next season is Hard Light. Now this weapon's received a nice buff late this season when Bungie reduced the amount of screen shake, making this weapon more accurate. Now on top of that, this weapon has no damage fall off when being fired and can be very effective at a farther distance than the range stat on this weapon suggests. The big reason I really like this weapon is how much it flinches hand cannon users and also throws off people you engage with, because no one is really adapted to engaging with auto rifles. Now, if you thought all that was good, it gets even better. With Bungie's recent TWAB, they mentioned changes coming to the sandbox in Season of the Worthy, and auto rifles are getting a nice buff to their damage. Specifically for Hard Light, which based on its RPM is an adaptive frame auto rifle, it will see its damage jump from 13.75 for body and 22 for precision to 15.75 for body damage and 25.2 for precision. I'm very excited to try this weapon in the new sandbox because Hard Light already melts people, and with this damage boost I could see Hard Light being even more potent in Season of the Worthy. So as we are finishing up this current season, I would highly recommend knocking out the catalyst now to have you ready for next season. Moving on to one of my personal favorites, and that's Thorn. Thorn, even in the current meta, is a beast since Thorn is 150 RPM hand cannon, and currently that's the meta for hand cannons, on top of the fact that this is the only hand cannon with a burn effect that becomes even more damaging once you trigger Soul Devourer. But we already knew all that, right? The reason I'm talking about Thorn right now is for Trials, this weapon is going to be even more potent, because in Trials, in order to get a res, you can't be taking damage. So with Thorn and its ability to damage over time, it will allow us to delay our enemy getting a res by a couple precious seconds, which can make all the difference in a round. Thorn is also a momentum building weapon. What I mean by this is, say we get the first pick in your Trials match, and now that enemy drops a remnant which buffs our damage. Now we're even better equipped to take down another enemy, and that's the momentum I'm talking about. You get the pick, you get the remnant, and that momentum carries you to get another kill. And as you get kills with Thorn, it just has the potential to just get even stronger. And it's also a great way to track your enemies through walls with that damage tick over time. I know some people really struggle with Thorn's recoil pattern, but this is a weapon that you can't ignore and can be a real game changer for Trials, so I would start practicing with it right now. Our next weapon is relatively new to Destiny, and that's Bastion, the exotic fusion rifle. This fusion is unique in the fact that it fires 3 kinetic slugs compared to just 1 charged up burst. Now fusions in a recent TWAB did have their range nerfed a bit, and it still remains to be seen if that change will affect Bastion or how it will affect Bastion. But because of this weapon's 3-round burst, even with a range nerf, it will still be very effective. Something else about this weapon that a lot of people gloss over is its ability to shut down supers, which in general is invaluable in Destiny, but with Trials on the horizon becomes an even more important factor in when we are choosing our loadout. Now all that is well and great, but the main reason I could see Bastion rising to the top in Season of the Worthy is because of the changes that are coming to shotguns. Shotguns in Season of the Worthy are getting a change to their pellet spread, which will hopefully make them more consistent, but at the same time have had their range reduced, and I think those will open up some more breathing room for Bastion. Bastion, because of its 3 slug spread, does a ton of damage, and this makes the effective range of this weapon pretty good. And the only reason I haven't used it more is because the effective range of shotguns like Mindbenders still outdoes it by just a little. With the changes to shotguns, don't be surprised if Bastion becomes a top tier option next season. Speaking of shotguns, the shotgun on the list is the Retold Tail. Now this shotgun is one of my favorites and was a go-to of mine before I got Mindbenders with Quick Draw, and that's why I actually used my Retold Tail to begin with. The Retold Tail is one of few select shotguns that can roll with Quick Draw, which is a must-have perk on shotguns and allows us to react much faster when pulling out our shotgun. The main reason I'm talking about the Retold Tail though is because of the changes to shotguns. As I mentioned earlier, shotguns are having 2 major changes that affect their range, and one is aiming down sights no longer adjusts effective range for this weapon archetype, and the cone angle is now adjusted on a per sub archetype basis and is no longer adjusted by the range stat. Because of that last line, it leads me to believe that precision frame shotguns could be the go-to shotguns next season because the recoil is more vertical, and because it is a precision frame, it could make the cone tighter or more accurate just based on the name. Now all of this is just speculation, and aggressive frames could still be king, but I'll keep your eyes out for a well-rolled Retold Tail just in case. Getting into our last weapon that I feel very confident will be meta next season, and that's the Revoke Er. This is a sniper that is a 72 RPM aggressive frame, which means it can headshot supers with ease, which as we discussed is huge when choosing our loadout. But the real kicker on this weapon is the perk Reversal of Fortune, which returns a bullet to the magazine when missing a shot. For Trials specifically, this is a game changer. It allows players to take more aggressive shots without running low on special ammo, because as long as they are disciplined and only take the one shot, they will get that back continuously. Combine that with the insane aim assist on this weapon, and it makes sense why in the Crucible, and especially in the comp playlist, this weapon is loved and simultaneously hated by so many in the community. Out of all the weapons on this list, this is the must-have weapon in my opinion, and I fully expect Season of the Worthy to be renamed Season of the Revoke Er. But let me know in the comments when you think of the weapons I listed, or what weapons you think will be meta next season. And the last thing I'll mention, guys, is I recently just started streaming on Mixer, and I'm working on not only growing my own audience, but the Destiny 2 directory as a whole over there. So if you enjoyed my streams in the past, don't hesitate to follow me over on Mixer. I'll leave a link down below for you guys. But as always, any support is appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Zone B, that's a power play. You took them, now hold. Numbers, Guardian. Excellent. I know a comeback when I see one. Fight on! Who says warlocks are better with books than with guns? Okay, it was me. Rage is an excellent motivator. That's hard fought. The lead is yours. Zone C captured. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone A lost. At what one Guardian can do, with nothing but your growth, your weapon, and your light. Zone advantage is yours.